Hey, hon. What's, going on in here? What's all that stuff you're throwing away? Isn't that your work? I thought you were doing pretty well on it. What happened? Baby, hey. Hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? I don't usually see you this upset. Hey, look at me. How about we put this down for a second, okay? You don't need to throw this away, too. Just tell me what's going on, love. You've been crying, haven't you? Your eyes are all puffy and you can barely even keep them focused. Did something happen? What do you mean it's not good enough? Good enough for what? Anything isn't much of an answer, sweetheart. Anything isn't much of an answer, sweetheart. If this project isn't doing you any good right now, then why don't we take a break and come back to it later? I don't think throwing it all away is gonna be of much use. I'd rather you fix a couple things instead of starting over. If it's not that, then what is it? You can't do what anymore? Baby, if this is too difficult, then you don't have to. What? For good? But you love working on this stuff. What do you mean, for good? I've never seen a more creative side of you than when you were doing these projects. And you do such a great job at them. I mean, just the other day, you were so proud of what you made when you showed it to me. And now you just want to give it all up? What happened? What changed? You've always been good at it, sweetheart. And just because you may or may not be the next world altering person doesn't mean you're not good enough to do it. A lot of people are going to have different opinions. So who told you you aren't good enough? That made you do all of this? Because I will give them a piece of my mind right now. Hey, what are you looking away from me for? Tell me what's going on, baby. What's in that busy brain of yours? You just don't want to do this anymore. Is it because of something that happened, or are you maybe tired? You don't know. Well, I say that's the best thing we can do right now is to take a step away. Because sitting here is not gonna take your mind off it. And I don't think any of what you've done belongs in the trash. In fact, I think sitting here right now is sabotaging you more than anything. So come on, let's get out of here. Yes, come on, baby. I know you want to stay here and get rid of all this evidence, but I would rather you come with me to the couch so we can think about it. Please? Thank you. I promise you, we're just gonna take a step back and then see how you're feeling later. I'm not going to force you into doing anything you don't want to, but I'd rather if you hear me out first, okay? Let's go. Sit on the couch with me. I know you're probably tired from all that frustration. But are you sure you don't know what caused it? Okay, so you didn't like the way the project was turning out. And I only assumed that being in your head so much wasn't helping either. But why don't you think you can do it? Because of this one failed attempt? Or are you comparing yourself to other people? Alright. So, firstly, I don't think anything you made in the past has been a failure. Everything you work on is going to be better than the last thing you made, even if it doesn't look like it. And so what if you don't like one thing amongst the entirety of projects that you've done? Not everything is going to be perfect, honey. All you can do is the best that you can. And really, that's already more than enough. But secondly, you put so much pressure on yourself all the time to try to be perfect that it's not fair to you. It's not fair to anyone. Because I get that you feel like you're falling behind. But that doesn't mean you have to push yourself past your breaking point. Since all it will do is keep building up this bucket of guilt and expectation. So much so that this same exception makes you throw away all your hard work, even though no one expects the same thing out of you than you do. We all want to see you succeed. That's it. You don't need to break yourself down to the bone just to feel like you're worth something, or make you feel like you're enough when comparing yourself to others. Everyone will move at their own pace, and so will you. So as long as you're doing what you want to do, and still find it fun. Do you still find it fun? Fine. Now ask in another way. Did you ever find it fun? If so, then why are you making it into a huge competition? I get that the world wants you to compete with everyone else, but there shouldn't be anything that says you need to do this as perfect as possible. Life has a weird way of making sure that things work out one way or another. And you pushing yourself is just going to turn you into a zombie that does nothing but live for expectation, for a version of yourself that shouldn't even need to exist. Because if you found this fun at some point, then that means you were fine with starting at the bottom. You were fine with improving from where you were, and you were fine with the results that you got in the end. So why are you turning this into an endeavor that's tearing you apart? The fact that you don't have a response says more to me than you know. Because I have seen how you have enjoyed this in the past. How much you've been wanting to be better and create bigger things. But now you're this. And for what? For who? If you really feel that pressure to do something that lives up to an unreachable expectation, then I think maybe it's time for you to take a further step back and appreciate what you've made already. How far you've come since when you started. And remember that joy you once had for this. Because that will really tell you whether or not you still want to do this. Baby, listen. If you really think you won't be good enough for others, then at least lower your standards so that you can be good enough for yourself. Do something you enjoy. Not what other people want you to. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that matters most. You started doing this for your own sake. And I'd rather if you finished it for that too. So if you really think that walking away from this is the best idea for you, then I won't stop you. Because you have your best interest at heart. But if you're doing this because you're trying to reach some unattainable expectation, and that thought is making you see your projects as worthless, then I think you should reevaluate that before you decide. Take a break if you need to. What can or can't do right now isn't as important as what you want. So does that sound like something you can do for me? As long as you try. Then that's all that matters to me. I would rather you think that every possible outcome imaginable than for you to give up on something you love. Something you really felt like doing. And even though you just started this on a whim, I know you've only continued because of that feeling it gave you when you started. If you truly hated it, then you wouldn't have gone as far as you have now. So please, don't start throwing everything away because of one bad project, or even a few of the missed expectations you set for yourself. Because maybe that only happened when you stopped believing in the fun that you used to have. It turned too much into a job where your boss constantly yelled at you to do better, but your best work always shows when you have a passion for it. The excitement. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that spark that you had before. And with all your favorite projects too. Wasn't that more exciting than what you're doing now? When you made something you were proud of? I'm sure it was more fulfilling compared to how you've been treating yourself lately. I'll take an I guess so over anything negative. Because I really do love all the things that you create. Every little detail you put into everything. It's so inspiring, and you don't even realize it. I mean, there are so many new things that I've tried just because I see how hard you work. You make that kind of creativity look so fun. And I'm sure you inspire other people too, even if they don't always say it to you. But I'm sure we'll also rather see that you don't force it when you really don't need to. We're not going to be mad at you for taking some time to self-reflect. You deserve it as much as anyone else does. But so long as you have that time where things won't fall apart, then I think you should take it. Actually use it in a way that's not just belittling yourself for not living up to something you couldn't possibly achieve. I want you to remember that this isn't all about work. It's about you, too. It's about how you want to feel. What you want to do. Not what you feel you need to do. Because I've seen the things you create when you're passionate about it. And watching your face light up every time is something priceless I'd never want to take away. Nor have you take away from yourself, even when things get rough. You mean so much to me. And I'd rather that you didn't give up your passions because of some negative view. I want you to still enjoy what you used to love. And I want to watch you do it. Because I think you'll do amazing once you put your mind to it. But don't take me saying that as giving you an expectation. Think of it as me knowing that you'll do what you want while you're having fun doing it. Since that's all that matters to me. Though why don't we try doing something else in the meantime, instead of throwing away more stuff? Unless you wanted me to leave you here to think on things. Personally, I'd say right now is better to take your mind off of it. You need time to actually relax and not consider having to work harder. I don't want you to try quitting again so early. So please, can we take it easy from now on? Settle back into it with a better mindset, rather than rushing full force to hate it again. Even if you have to start back from scratch by doing bits at a time like when you started, I'd rather have that than you destroying your passion. Does that sound okay? Alright. And you have to promise that you'll give these projects more space later, too. You did just walk away from trying to give it all up. So I think you'll need that distance, at least for now. That spark will come again with time. I know it will.